travel a lot. Where are some of the places they'd gone?
It's more of where they haven't been. They were in Russia. They've been in all of Europe, Indonesia, China. A lot of China. Well, they were in Hong Kong a lot because Clay had a daughter that lived there, so they went twice a year. Australia. I'm trying to think. So, well, Russia was the scariest one for me because I always worried about plane crashes. I don't know if there was some kind of deal, but I said, "Oh, Mother, God, don't tell me you're not, taking a Russian plane somewhere from Russia to, And she said, "Oh, honey, if I was meant to die in a airplane crash," she said, "I wasn't meant to grow old." And that always stuck. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And I thought, oh my God, and she never worried. She was a happy flyer. She knew how to fly. She knew the good seats, the bad seats.
She never had fear.
Never. Clay did. Clay had, and he flew more than she did to New York and back a lot because Crane bought CF&I Steel, and he would fly back and forth from New York City, and he always hated this Denver to Colorado Springs flight. He just hated it.
Did he say why?
The bumpiness, you can't get low, you can't get high enough to get away from the turbulence. Anybody that's flown it on a windy day or even a normal day, it can happen, and that's the one thing that we all worried the most about was, and you've helped me a whole lot with the time frame of the crash, of how long did they know? And my brother-in-law, being in the Air Force, said they didn't know anything. He said the G-forces would have been so tremendous, but you still worry. Like in Sioux City, they flew around, for 45 minutes?
Knowing they had a problem with the hydraulics, too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why they flew around trying to get rid of the gas.
Yep.
And I thought, no, that's a bad one.
Mm-hmm. But people survived that
They
crash.
did. They certainly did. We were very brave.
No, you're good. No, we were fortunate with that one because that was amazing.
It was amazing what the pilot did, and it was similar to the New York one that landed on the
Yep.
Was it what river in New York City?
The Hudson, yep.
It's amazing what some of these pilots can do, and they really do try. It was amazing my parents' flight. This is not a big park, as you've seen. It's not a very big park, and for him, there were apartment buildings, and then there's houses on the other side, and then across the highway was a reservoir, and boy, he hit just square. And how,
You think he had a little bit of control over that?
No.
It's just luck.
If your statistics are right on the time frame, no, I do not. I don't think I think he would have, but if we're talking 8 seconds, you don't have control, and that tells. The only thing that worried me was if the flight was extremely bumpy, and because I do know that he kept saying, "Is this wind shear? Is this wind shear?" And the tower in Denver, I don't think they weren't quite as, I'm trying to think of the word, emphatic about saying, no, it is not, and so he just had to make a decision, and he, thought it was wind shear, and he did the opposite of what you should have done, but he didn't know, it was bad weather.
Right.
It was windy, and it really wasn't windy. It was no more windy than it was today. Today's gustier than it was that day. Because I'm a worrier, and when I go to pick up my parents when they've traveled, from China or wherever, and I know they're worn out, I can remember getting out of the car and thinking, oh, it's not so bad, today. You know, I always worried about the wind because Clay hated it so.